This is Pace Per Mile. For more on the latest news, reviews, check out pacepermile.com. Like us on Facebook and join in the conversation on Twitter. With host Chris Nicholas, this is Pace Per Mile.
Welcome to Pace Per Mile's special segment, talking with inspirational people that are incredible within the athletic community. Talking with Brian Piecuch. Brian is from the Cincinnati, Ohio area and had a chance to read a little bit about this story a couple of days ago. And Brian, you're embarking on an incredible story and journey, but you've also been through an incredible journey. Welcome to Pace Per Mile.
Oh, thank you. I do appreciate you taking the time to learn about my organization and my story. I really do appreciate it.
We'd love to be able to talk to individual athletes that are not necessarily the elite athletes of this world, because we tend to see that you're doing a lot more work on the grassroots level, and that's really what we see in your story today. There was a significant person in your life, Katie Mappin. She passed away back in 2011, and I'd like just to kind of hand it over to you for a few minutes and just tell me about her, kind of the struggles that the two of you went through in the latter years of her life.
Well, we got to meet each other when we were in South Bend while I was coaching college basketball at IU South Bend, and we had a great relationship. We were able to, we were each other's best friends from the get-go, and we were pretty inseparable for, our 2 years that we were together. And basically what happened was in 2010, later 2010, she started having breathing problems. And the doctors first thought it was asthma, and we just tried the asthma inhaler because she had a hard time breathing. And we thought, it was just something that she was just going through as she was getting older. And so we progressed throughout the year, and we got to the point at the end of the year where she was having an even harder time. So we had her go to the doctor in her hometown right at the end of the year near and also spring break. And the doctor thought it was walking pneumonia. And the doctor kept on saying, you just need to take these antibiotics and she'll get better. Well, she just didn't. And by the time of probably around March 22nd would be about the time we were going to go to drop me off at school work, because she could not even walk to the bus station to be able to go to class. So we got in the car and she starts having a seizure. And the next thing you know, she's over there and she can't respond to me. So I ended up driving to the hospital. The doctors there did EKGs, and something was not adding up, and the doctors couldn't figure it out. So they had us go up to IU North, where they're the great doctors there. The facility's state of the art. The doctors there thought they were dealing with the possibility of pulmonary arterial disease. And typically what that is it is a inability to have the blood flow go to your lungs. They did some testing, and her pressure in her veins, which typically should be in a range of 19 to 18, was 121. So her inability to have the blood flow gain to her lungs was causing heart failure, and then also she couldn't get any air throughout her body to breathe. By that point, what we did was there's really not very many ways to diagnose what she eventually had in treatments. So they're in experimental phases right now, you could say. They tried some different types of medicines on her the night I left, when her mother was still with her, and she ended up crashing because the disease that she truly had was PVOD, and it caused pretty much her whole body to shut down. She ended up slipping into a coma after they were able to revive her. She was down, I believe, for like 15 minutes, and eventually that's what ended up being her demise, was that her body just finally gave out on her because the disease, there's not really a cure to it. There's only a way to there's only a temporary solution, which is a lung transplant. Typically, someone only can live for about 2 years from that.
After the fact, obviously, you're educating yourself on it, because obviously you lost the love of your life, right?
Absolutely. We were engaged. We're going through college. I was at IU and she was at Ivy Tech in Bloomington. So I was just getting done, graduated, and she was just getting her degree in culinary. So we were just starting our lab. We were living together, and we were starting to make some decisions that was going to be long-term solutions for us. So yeah, I mean, it really did have a great impact upon that. And that's why I really had the compassion and conviction to really learn about the disease and fight it.
She was a tennis player in high school and college, is that correct?
Just in high school, okay. She would play. That's just kind of she was She was athletic, but she just wanted just to have fun, and that was kind of her way to just be active.
It's a couple of years after this. You are still carrying a torch for her, and that's why we're kind of chatting a little bit today, is that you've already ran a couple of races, actually 3 races already, for this challenge to help others that might be in the same situation. You've learned from your loss and from her family's loss, and now you're working with others and financially and on the awareness side.
Yeah, absolutely. My organization is called The Right to Breathe, and what I'm doing is I'm going to be running about 35 races this year, in hopes to raise at least $10,000 to give to the IU Health Center to be able to do clinical research. Because I think the worst thing, people with cancer and also other diseases, there's treatments out there for that. There's hope for them. Whereas, when families have a child that has a disease like this, and what are you supposed to tell them? We don't have a solution for that problem, and there's nothing we can do for you. And that's the worst thing. I'd hate to be able to tell someone, as a doctor or as anyone who has family that's going through that, is that there is no hope for your child. So that's why I'm making the effort to try and be able to first be able to diagnose it properly, and then make the chance to get at least some treatments, so we can at least bring some hope to some of these people that don't have very much to go off of.
You have been an off and on runner though for the last 8 to 10 years easily. So this is kind of your way to be able to do that. Tell us a little bit about your history and how this all ties in together.
Well, this ties together because my family have always been runners. Ever since I was young, my uncles, my grandfather, my grandmother, they've always been runners. And so I was always kind of brought up in the idea that I would be a runner as well, which I always wanted to be. I was born with cerebral palsy, so my ability to run was limited. I used to have to wear casts on my legs. I was just very uncoordinated and had a lot of pain when I used to run. And when I was in 6th grade, they finally went in and did a hip replacement and also did a reconstructive of my Achilles tendon to try and make my ability to walk better and also run. They told me at that point that I probably wouldn't be able to run again. It would be there might be a chance, but you would be very limited. Well, I slowly worked my way up through 6th, 7th, 8th, and all the way up to high school, to the point where I was able to start running into the probably in the high 17s for 5Ks, and then also I was able to run under 5-minute miles when I was in track. And then my junior year, when I was running very well, my back finally gave out on me, and I pretty much had to shut myself down because of the pain that was coming with it. And ever since then, I've had major back issues.
So you are not out there just whipping through these 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, and then obviously I think you're leading up to a marathon this fall. You're struggling yourself.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea is that when it comes to having a disability, I mean, you have to make a decision for yourself. You either can be standard or you can become the standard. I want to be able to inspire people with cerebral palsy, as well as people who are going through any types of diseases that are debilitating. Because I've been really blessed with only having a mild case, whereas a lot of other people are not as blessed as much as I am. So and when I'm running, I mean, I'm running right now in 30 miles. I mean, I'm not running anything special, but I'm working my way up. And what I'm doing to try and protect myself as I start to build up my ability to run again is I'm only running twice a week to just make sure my body heals properly, and I'm also doing yoga now to stretch out my body to properly heal.
Now that you've kind of balanced things out with yoga, and that came from you were working at a retailer, and just it was getting tough there too, right?
Yeah, well, my friend, I was actually assistant store manager at this retail store, and we had a gentleman that was under me, and he had major back issues, and he was very sore all the time. And so he started doing this yoga that's very popular nowadays called DDP yoga. And he started doing this stuff, and he would walk around. I would notice weeks after he started doing this, he was walking around a lot better, able to do a lot of his work a lot more. So I asked him, I said, what are you doing that makes your back feel so much better and you look a lot better shape? He says, well, I'm doing this yoga. You should really try it out with your bad back. And I was to the point where I almost had to, I was using a cane on a daily basis to even walk around and do my work at my store. About maybe in July, my back finally gave out on me, and they had to put me on workers' comp for 3 months. so I could have my back healed, and I had to go to physical therapy. And they basically told me once again I would not run again. My back was in such bad shape that they said that your focus needs to be purely on walking. So I started doing physical therapy, and I started doing this yoga, and it started loosening my back up, and my walking habits were getting a lot better, and my strength was coming back to where I was back in high school. And so I've been doing it every day. I do it every day in the morning and at night, and it's really been a godsend for me.
Well, it sounds like you are on the right track to complete this. How do you feel about that, though? You've got 32 events you're going to try to fit in before the end of the year. You're 3 in. Obviously, it's very early. How do you feel mentally and physically?
When it comes to mental and physical, I feel great. I have a friend who I work with on a daily basis who's a marathon runner. He keeps me inspired, and he works with me on my techniques and discuss what I need to do to prepare myself. And when it comes to the mental aspect, when you make a commitment, I made a commitment to Kate, and she made a commitment to me that we would make sure that we would take care of each other. And this is my way of making sure that I take care of her by getting the word out that I can protect her in some way. And when it comes to that, my conviction, when it comes to the mental focus, there's nothing that's going to sway me from it.
What about the relationship with Katie's family? Do you still have that solid relationship with them?
I do. And it was great too. The family has always been great to me. They have always taken care of me when I was going through the loss. It was like I was their son, which I am, and I really feel that way. And they've had a tough time getting through it as well. And we're there to pick up each other. And I think by doing this organization, I think that I'm trying to make them feel like there's hope to bring some cause to their daughter, who is such a special person and deserves to be known.
And certainly you're doing that to keep Katie's memory alive, to help her family and to help others, as well as help yourself. Obviously, you're going to be getting more fit in the sense here by running these races, by increasing the awareness. Tell us a little bit specifically about the foundation, how you're raising funds, how people benefit from that.
Well, what we're going to be doing is I have on Facebook my organization, The Right to Breathe, and it's spelled RITE for the right. And what we're doing is we're trying to get people to join the cause, and then also on the page there's a donation link to fundy.com where I can get funds donated to that. And what I'm going to be doing is $2,000 of the $10,000 I hope to raise is going to go to Ivy Tech Bloomington, to the culinary program in honor of her. We established a scholarship fund 2 years ago when we lost her, and we wanted to be able to provide people who do not have the financial means to be able to explore their abilities in culinary and also be inspired to be able to live on through the culinary arts. And we've been able to do that, and we've feel really blessed thus far to be able to do that. And what we're doing is we're trying to just bring it up to another level. Eventually, I would like to be able to provide someone with the full financial investment to be able to go to school and not have to worry about those type of things and be able to focus on their art, culinary art degree. Then the other $8,000 is going to be going to IU North, and what they're going to be doing is they're going to be taking that money and putting it into clinical research. And what I hope to do is that eventually be able to, I have a 1, 3, and 5 year plan, is eventually get to the point where we can get it up to $25,000 and $50,000 to be able to provide the clinical research that they truly need, because the funding isn't there right now.
If you don't reach your goal, do you continue?
Absolutely. I won't stop. I mean, just like how Kate wouldn't give up on me, I'm not going to give up on this. Just when I was going through my back problems, she was there to take care of me, because I was so debilitated from the back issues for our relationship, that she was there to take care of me for that. And this is my way to take care of her.
And if somebody says, well, there's no cure and they can't even diagnose this disease, what's your response to that?
I truly believe that there is always hope out there for a cure and also diagnosis. It's just that this disease is so unknown that there hasn't been enough research done. I want to be that bearer of bringing that news to the people, that I want to be able to provide the funds so we can get to the point where we can find that solution. I won't accept a no.
If anybody's listening out there that wants to take part in this, or start their own efforts for their own passion and for maybe somebody that they've lost in their lives, what kind of advice would you give them?
I mean, I would give them the same as I've gone through. If you love someone enough, you do what you feel like that's in your heart. If I wouldn't have hurt my back this last time, I'd still be working at the retailer, and this would never happen. Everything happens for a reason. I think that I lost Kate for a reason, and I think it was a reason that we could provide protection to these families in the future. And all right, like right now, I'm going to go into school to become a pastor, and I'll be focusing on people that have lost their spouses. And I think that just having the comfort that there are others out there who are young, who've lost their significant others, and they're trying to just live their lives and live their lives to the fullest.
How do they reach you? How do they find out more information? Give us the rundown.
The best way to reach me is going to Facebook and going to the Right to Breathe. And once again, you spell it RITE for the right. And there will be a page on there that will have all of our contact information, and there will also be a link to fundy.com where you can donate. I'm really looking for donations right now. I'll be paying for the races and also the travel when I'll be traveling across the Midwest, all the way from Iowa all the way to Ohio, Kentucky, Michigan, Indiana, and Wisconsin to race. And so I'm not concerned with the cost when it comes to the travel and the races. I'm more concerned about getting the funds enough to be able to donate this to the Ivy Tech and also to IU. So I would passionately beg for anyone who really feel this in their heart, definitely donate and go on to the Right to Breathe page on Facebook and like it, because the more people that like it and also go on there and look into it, the more there can be connected with others, and so we can spread the word and awareness to this organization.
All right, Brian Piecuch, thanks for joining us this week on Pace Per Mile and keeping Katie Mappin's memory in all of our minds, all of our hearts, the awareness for this incurable disease, and keep going out there, okay?
Yeah, I do appreciate it, and thank you for your time.
This has been one of the new special segments on Pace Per Mile with a special person doing something incredible. Check it out, and check out more at pacepermile.com. I'm Chris Nicholas.
At Pace Per Mile, we want to share your story. Do you know someone that has a compelling topic to share with the listeners? Help us tell your story or their story by emailing us today. info@pacepermile.com. That's info@pacepermile.com.